My favorite Chilean tradition, and it's not Chilean, it's really all of Latin America, maybe the whole world besides the United States, but I love the kiss. It's the typical greeting in Chile. You don't even really kiss their cheek, but you just go in and your cheek touches their cheek, and it is the perfect greeting. I love it because you'll come back and you'll think that the handshake is just so formal and cold, but the kiss is nice because you don't have to hug every single person, but you're like in close contact. It's really easy to just it's like shaking hands at church. You just go and you kiss everybody, and it's real fun. And it is hard not to do it anymore because it's such a nice way to greet someone, and it's a really big part of their culture. So Chilean food is really bland. Well, I guess by my expectations, I thought it would be like Mexico with lots of spices, and it's really not. You'll eat a lot of rice, and they put mayonnaise and lemon on everything. So I hope that you like mayonnaise. They eat a lot of bread, which is delicious. It's just like this homemade bread. It's really interesting because the homemade bread is super cheap, but like the sliced bread that you would get here is really expensive. So people you just go to the local little tiny store that's every couple blocks in people's houses really, and you just buy bread, and it's delicious. During the winter, there's something called once, and it's basically tea time after dinner. And so you eat so much bread, and I would say the winter is when you have a real chance of gaining a lot of weight because the bread is so good, and they'll put avocado on it or cheese on it. The cheese is really good, and you just eat so much of it. Something that surprised me was, even though everything's on the coast, I ate almost no fish. You'll eat just so much rice and chicken, and it's good food though. It's not bad, and I loved the empanadas. That's one thing that I really liked about the Chilean food, was these huge empanadas just full of meat and onions, and I loved them. But you should know that there is always this trick olive in the empanadas, and they're just really salty and like vinegary, and they have the pit in them. So be careful when you eat the empanadas. I loved them, but it was always, I'd eat very carefully until I found the olive, and I'd throw that out or give it to my companion, and then I could eat more confidently. But the food's really good. One traditional thing for Independence Day, they have this thing called mote con huesillo, which is basically like rotten peaches, like dried rotten peaches in this like juice with these little wheat balls in them. And that's really popular. You'll drink that a lot around in September. It's kind of a hassle to drink, but it's really good. So Chilean Spanish is crazy and it's fun, but it takes a really long time. I probably didn't understand anything my first about 3 months, I would say, but I was a lot slower than most. It just was hard for me to understand. Chileans are really proud of their language, and they know it's really bad. I mean, you'll hear all the time. You'll say something in Chilean, and they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, we have the worst Spanish," and they're just so proud of it. It's cute. And they don't say their S's, and they don't really say their D's a lot of the time, and so it ends up and they have this weird sing-songy way of talking where they just say like, "Haga lo que tú queráis," and other Latins just have no idea what that means, and it's fun, but it is really hard to understand. By far the best holiday is the 18th of September. And nothing else even comes close. Christmas doesn't come close. Thanksgiving doesn't even exist. But the 18th of September is so fun. Chileans don't have a lot of national pride, I would say. It's not like Argentina or other places where, no matter how bad the country is, they're still, from that country. Chileans, they they're just really chill people, except for 1 week of the year, and that's the week around the 18th, and that week they go crazy, and there's flags everywhere, and there's just barbecues in every house. And the day after, most people are sleeping until really late during the day because of the night before, but it's just a really fun cultural event. Just a lot of national pride, a lot of special foods, and it is really fun. In northern Chile, the main occupation is mining, and there's a lot of mines up in the north part of Chile. And you'll actually get people from southern Chile going up to the mines, and they work, the Chilean men, it's mostly men who work in the mines, but they'll work 7 by 7 or 10 by 10. So they're in the house for 7 days and then they leave for 7 days. So the northern part of Chile, all of Chile really, it's in the Ring of Fire, and so there's a lot of earthquakes. It's funny because we call earthquakes anything where the earth quakes, but in Chile they have, or in Spanish, they have a differentiation, and so below 7.0 is called a temblor, which is just like a tremor, and above a 7 is called an earthquake, or terremoto. And so you'll feel tremors a lot